Minecraft is a game that obviously pretty much everyone in the entire world knows at this point, considering it's the best-selling game of all time, and it's also a game that on YouTube has pretty much been ran into the ground as far as vanilla challenge runs go. I figured I would mix it up a little bit and do a modded run, and so that's why today I'm going to ask if you can beat Minecraft if everything is randomized. You'll be able to tell pretty much immediately what I mean by the few seconds of the footage that is playing right now, but everything in this game is going to be randomized. All block drops are randomized, all mob drops are randomized, basically anything that I can, possibly obtain in the game is randomized. The only thing that, as far as I'm aware, isn't randomized by this mod is chest loot, and obviously things that I do need to beat the game are going to be randomized. This means endermen are not going to be dropping ender pearls, this means that blazes aren't going to be dropping blaze rods, and etc, for every item that I'm going to need to beat the game. I did get really lucky and managed to just find an elytra pretty much immediately, which is insane. I mean, that's one of the first things I got. It's not exactly going to be perfect for the run or anything, but it will come back to bite me later when I don't have it. So I just kind of went around searching for things, and I got pretty damn lucky finding an iron pick right off the bat. I mined some clay and ended up getting some copper stairs, which thankfully I have an iron pick so I can mine, and it ended up dropping me iron blocks. This pretty much set me really far ahead on this run, which is really nice, because I've attempted this run I think about 20 times and gotten soft locked or just ran out of ideas on so many of the runs that I've tried. I've been trying to do this run since I believe summer of 2023 was the first recording that I had for an attempt at this video, and I've just never been able to complete it. So it's nice that I finally was able to finish this run. I got lucky and found a good food source, that being stone, just dropping me cooked chicken, which was great. I went into the ocean for a little while and just started kind of meandering around looking for things to break, doing underwater shenanigans, just trying to find pretty much anything I could think of that could drop something potentially useful. I've had runs where I've went 3 hours straight without finding a single useful item. I'd get more coral or flowers or just random shit that I couldn't really actually use in the process to beat the game, which is generally pretty awful. So that's why on this run, when I found out that kelp drops Eyes of Ender, I had basically just won the run. I had everything that I needed basically right off the bat. I believe I was about 45 minutes into this recording to beat the game. This is insanely lucky. I believe the only other run I had where I was even this close was a run where I managed to get ender pearls, but I could never find blaze rods no matter what I did, which basically soft locked the run. And the run isn't exactly impossible if you get soft locked. It's just more so with the way this mod works is some things you may just never really be able to mine unless you find, obviously a tool that can mine it, or you do, trades with villagers or something like that, where you just spend an exorbitant amount of time getting a tool that you might need to break certain blocks. I had runs where I never found iron. I had runs where I got diamond tools right off the bat. I've had all sorts of runs with this specific mod, and a lot of the times it just never really went my way, and I was never able to just get the things that I needed. But on this run, I not only got Eyes of Ender, but I managed to get blaze powder as well, which is pretty insane considering that's another thing I never got. So this run, in all intents and purposes, was going very well. This would come back to haunt me a little bit later when I forgot to adjust one of the settings for the mod, but it made the run more interesting, so we're going to get to that a little later on down the line. Right now, I could have just went easily to the stronghold and just kind of forcefully killed the ender dragon, considering I had, a diamond sword and iron armor and an elytra. But I kind of wanted to prepare a little bit more. I wanted to get a bow or a crossbow or something that I could just have as a little extra bit of backup before I went to the stronghold, which was my main goal. So I figured I would go ahead and just, as I'm wandering around breaking blocks trying to discover things, I would try to look for a village to either get a trade going with one of the villagers, or just, I could find a pillager tower as well, to get a crossbow and some arrows, because obviously skeletons aren't going to drop arrows. So pretty much my only source of arrows would be chest loot, because again, chest loot is not randomized, but obviously the items from the chest, if I were to break them, whether it's blocks or something, would be randomized. But I kind of didn't really have a good, idea to get arrows. I did find, I believe, a few randomized pieces of feathers and flint throughout the run, which I could make some arrows, but obviously having a bow would make the Ender Dragon fight much, much easier, considering I would need to tower up and break all the end crystals to actually damage the dragon. That didn't really seem viable to me, so I figured going for a bow would be the better route, just so that I could actually, deal with that in a non-headache inducing way. See, I could have just been smart and realized, hey, I have an elytra. I can just climb up here, break the crystal, not kill myself with it, and then just glide back down. Yeah, I didn't do that because I kind of forgot about the elytra about halfway into the run once I found the village. Luckily for me, this was a decent village that had a fletching table, which meant that I could go ahead and actually get, trades for my bows, arrows, crossbows, whatever I may need. So I figured I would just stay around here for a little while and try to get some stuff going, try to get maybe an enchanted bow, just something that could help me. I did end up finding something rather interesting, which was a netherite block at some point, which, cool. I can't really do anything with that, considering I don't have a way to get smithing templates unless I go to the nether, and I didn't really go to the nether on this run. I didn't think I needed netherite armor for the Ender Dragon. I thought it was kind of overkill. I never managed to find diamond armor throughout the run, which was kind of weird considering a lot of other runs that I did on this, I had diamond armor relatively early on. I remember one run that I had a recording for, I broke a single log, an oak log, and it dropped a diamond chest plate, which was pretty interesting. I did some things around the village, looted, killed some mobs, killed an iron golem, just kind of looked around. I was in a new biome as well, so I kind of had some more options on things that I could break, plus all of the village stuff, the trapdoors, the stairs, the mossy cobble. I mean, there was plenty of options around here, and I think that's the main bit of difficulty on this run, is you gotta really think hard on things you can break, because every single thing in the game gives you something else. So if you break a log and it gives you a stair, you can break that stair and say that stair gives you a plank. Well, if you just repeat that process, you can use the planks to craft other stuff. So you can craft, trapdoors, fences, buttons, pressure plates, all sorts of stuff. I ended up getting a really lucky repeating cycle on this. So basically, if I broke a redstone repeater, it would give me stripped jungle wood. And then I could use the stripped jungle wood to make jungle planks, and jungle planks in turn gave me redstone repeaters. So I had an infinite source of sticks because I could actually get wood. It made it a little faster than having to dig dirt to get the acacia planks, because that was actually a very early on thing that I managed to discover, was acacia planks from dirt, which is really nice. Having wood and being able to, get crafting tables on demand, being able to get basic tools so that you can actually break a lot of the blocks in the game early on is really, really helpful, because I've had runs where I got stuck with my fists for the first hour, which was never really that fun considering I had to find creative solutions. I try not to crutch chests or just village trades in this challenge, because I feel like that would make everything too easy. Like, I didn't give myself the ability to go trade with a villager to just, max out a toolsmith or something to get full diamond tools without actually having a tool myself, because I didn't think that would be a very fun or viable way to run the challenge. I think that would make it too easy, so I tried to restrict myself a little bit on that. The only thing I really wanted to allow myself to trade for in this run was going to be, the bow and arrows, because I have really no way of crafting those without just pure luck, unless I find the one item that drops a bow and the one item that drops an arrow. But considering, you can have an infinite block chain of things that break and go into other blocks, the odds of you actually ever finding that are astronomical. I went into the nether for all of 5 minutes on this run and just kind of left. I think I was going to go in and look for a bastion so that I could, try to maybe get a crossbow, but I figured it would just be easier for me to go ahead and just do my little strat of infinite wood so that I could get my trades with the villagers at the Fletchers up. I kind of just took a little break and wandered around for a bit. I figured I could sightsee a little bit, and maybe there was some other stuff around that I could look into. But I eventually just decided I was kind of ready. I figured at this point I was about as prepared as I was ever going to be. So instead of going back to the village and continuing to farm up some more stuff, I just decided to head for the stronghold. It didn't take me too long to find it. I only broke 3 eyes on the way, and I just killed the silverfish, broke the spawner, and then went ahead and placed the bed that I brought along with me right outside in case I died. This will be important in a minute. I didn't want to cheese the Ender Dragon with bed strats and just, kill it with the speedrunner strat of just popping a couple beds right away. So I just went ahead and decided I was going to do it the good old-fashioned way. So this is where I ran into my first little problem, because something I didn't know about was when I say everything's random, I mean everything. Obviously the blocks and the mob drops, as we've seen throughout the video so far, have been random. My drops were randomized as well when I died for the first time, because I couldn't clutch a water bucket and I forgot I had an elytra on my hotbar. I'm a moron. I went back into the end and I found out that all my equipment was gone. This is a setting you can disable to where only your drops are unrandomized if you die, but I neglected to look into that, and honestly I'm kind of glad I did, because it kind of gave me a more challenging and interesting approach to this run, because I brought some extra gear with me to the Ender Dragon fight. I ended up bringing my enchanted bow, a crossbow, and another bow, as well as I believe 2 stacks of arrows and some iron, enough to make another couple sets of armor, weapons, whatever it may be. Obviously I lost my really good stuff. I lost my diamond sword and I lost my, good enchanted bow and everything, but I ended up having enough stuff that I could just go ahead and kind of split my items up and just try to do things again and just save myself in case I died. I only had about 50 arrows left at this point, so I brought half in with me on the next run with the Ender Dragon, which I kind of sparingly went through and did damage. I went ahead and just kept trying to whittle him down. I stayed smart with my arrows. I didn't really want to shoot unless I could get a guaranteed shot off, but for some reason when I was just doing damage one time, the game just decided that it was going to throw me, which was fine. The Ender Dragon turns, sometimes you just get thrown, which is whatever. It's not so fun when it happens again during another perch, and I ended up getting thrown right into the air, and obviously at this point I didn't have another water bucket, so I died. That was the second set of items down. I was down to the bare minimum. I had about 30 arrows, I had 1 last set of iron armor, and 1 last sword. I had to be very, very meticulous and careful here. Also, for anyone wondering, I believe I was playing on normal. I don't remember adjusting the in-game difficulty at all. I'm really glad I didn't do this run on hardcore, because I probably would have just cried, honestly, at the point where I died and lost any progress that I had, finding Eyes of Ender and everything. If I would have lost that run, I think I would have been too depressed to continue, considering I've been trying to make this video for damn near 2 years now. Eventually, I whittled the Ender Dragon down to just a tiny sliver of health. Using pretty much all of my arrows, I was completely out. He perched one last time, and I was able to kill the Ender Dragon and beat Minecraft with every item in the game and drop randomized. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you for showing support to the channel. I know I've been missing lately. We'll talk about that another time, though. That's a whole different story that I didn't really want to get into for this. But as always, I'm thankful for you guys, showing support. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions for future runs, please leave them down in the comments below. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.